All right. Well, building on the last couple of videos we've done, this one is on step three, getting a kit. This is kind of where people um, have a bit more fun because a lot of times they like the gear, and this is mostly what this one is. So let's talk about it. So as always, we're going to start. This is a presentation I do with our prepper group in this area. We do it live. So I always start with asking everyone. So I'll ask you wherever you are right now. You can't get up and go get it from anywhere else, but on you right now, do you have a knife on you, on your person right now? Do you have a multi-tool on your person? Not in the next room, not on a shelf, not in your vehicle, on you. Do you have a flashlight? Now, a lot of people, when I started asking this in the class, would say no, and then now they're saying, well, yes, I do on my phone. So you have to think outside the box on these things. Expand your thinking. Do you have a whistle? Do you have a lighter? Band-aid, duct tape, some kind of cordage. And again, people in my group now, when we do this talk, if they're wearing boots or shoes with shoelaces, they'll say, yes, I do. Or maybe their hoodie has a drawstring or their sweatpants has a drawstring. So that could be cordage. So again, expand your thinking. This is what you'll have on you at all times. So the basic things that are normally asked for in a kit, if you look at any site, they'll say water. Now this is just a little funny where it's got dehydrated water. All you do is add water, stir vigorously for a few seconds, and then drink it. A whistle. I always like having a whistle on me. Communications, self-defense. They're quite piercing, especially the Fox 40. Um, scare off animals, draw attention to yourself, things like that. So water, flashlight and batteries, or wind-up flashlight, can opener, food, whether it's canned food, freeze-dried food, MREs, granola bars, radio, spare batteries. Those are kind of the basics that most sites will tell you to have in your 72-hour kit or your emergency kit. So kit principles, I like to tell everyone to expand your thinking of what a kit is. It's not just a backpack. That's just not all your kit. Think about it's everything you have on you, including your clothing. As we'll talk about when we talk about kind of the main important things, we talk about having adequate shelter. And shelter doesn't just mean your home or your camper, your vehicle, a tent. Sheltering you from the elements, whether it's heat or cold, is also the clothing that you're wearing. So again, think of your total kit as more than just a fanny pack or a backpack. It's everything you have on you. So the classic 10 C's of survival, we can incorporate these into our kits, and they're generally a cutting tool of some sort. So when we ask about a knife or a multi-tool, that's where that comes in. A combustion device, so that could be a lighter, could be matches, magnifying glass could be used for that, a 9-volt battery and steel wool, ferro rods, flint and steel, cover or shelter. So this could be a tarp, a poncho, a sheet of plastic, or your jacket, your sweater. That's all part of shelter. A container. So it could be a water bottle, could be a pot, a canteen, anything that can hold water. You could use a Ziploc bag as a kind of a makeshift container. Cordage. So something to tie stuff up with. So this could be paracord, which then has multiple strands within it. It could be your shoelaces. It could be wire. All kinds of things could count as cordage. Candling, so that's some way to have light. Could be an actual candle, could be glow sticks, headlamp, flashlight, different things you could choose from there. Cotton material is one of the C's. Now, cotton's not great for your clothing in a survival situation, but you could have a cotton bandana. You could use it to, put charcoal in to help make a filter. You could use it to help with if the air quality is very poor. You could use it as a mask. Cargo tape, very handy. I always wrap all my lighters whenever I can in tape, or my water bottles in tape, just to have some. It doesn't take up much space, and at least you got a little bit. Compass and a canvas needle. So some of the important C's to think about when you're building out your kit. So let's look at the critical processes. So things we want to think about first is air. You're not going to last very long without air. So do you have, an N95 mask? Use it as a particulate filter. So it helps protect you and others from airborne contaminants if you're sick. It also, if you have to evacuate and you're driving through a lot of smoke, or the conditions, you have a lot of smoke in your area from wildfires somewhere nearby, or a lot of ash in the air. That's 3M masks are good at, the N95s at filtering the particulate. Then into shelter. So again, that could be a tarp, it could be a poncho, it could be your jacket, just a windproof shell, an extra sweater, tent, your vehicle, build a lean-to, have ability to do that. Security. So again, you don't have to worry about water or food get far down the line if you don't have good security. So if you're being threatened by something, whether it's a natural hazard of some sort, a predator, two or four-legged, you should have something to help you with security. And there are more and less lethal options for security, depending on your stance and your beliefs on that. Water. Water is very important. Again, to our rule of threes: 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, even though I can guarantee you, um, you'll be very weak and tired long before 3 weeks without food. Types of kits. Well, you've got your everyday carry. So, again, that's something you have on you all the time, on your person. Again, not in your vehicle. That's your vehicle kit. Not in your house ready to go. That might be your bug out kit. Not in your office. That's your office kit. This is on your person. Your bug out bag. I'm not coming home bag, the inch bag. There's different names for all these kits and different contents and durations for them. Individual first aid kit or your IFAK. Again, that's something you have on you. It could be as simple as a few band-aids, an alcohol swab, and some gloves. Very simple. First aid kit, a bigger kit for trauma, more things to stop bleeds, you know, clotting agents, tourniquets, things like that. Vehicle kit, very important, and change that out depending on the season. And your office kit. So in the pictures, if you're watching this, I've got just one of my little packs that I keep in my truck all the time. And if we'll go through that later, and you'll see how it's got a lot of the 10Cs in it. And just one of my bigger bags as well. So my everyday carry and truck kits. So everyday carry, got my wallet with my identification, a little bit of cash, a few other things in it, which I'll be showing you, Swiss Army card. Got my belt that I usually have on, so you could use that for cordage. You could use it in self-defense, all kinds of things you can use a belt for. My phone, so it's got, my communications method. You can listen to the news, communicate with people. It's got my flashlight, got my lighter. Now this was pre-putting duct tape on the lighter, and then a knife. This is that Swiss Army card or Swiss card. So within that little card, it just about credit card size, fits in your wallet. And it's got a little screwdriver, which I've used many times with different screw heads on it. It's got a little knife, a nail file, toothpick, some tweezers, and one of those heavier kind of needles and a bit of a punch. I also generally am wearing my toque with my LED rechargeable headlamp on it. And I usually always have a multi-tool with me, quite often a carabiner clipped onto a belt loop. And then all my boots, these are my old 30 plus year Vask Sundowner hiking boots. See, I also store duct tape on those. Haha. Helps hold them together, and I got duct tape. And the laces have been replaced with paracord. So instead of, say, 2 meter lace, I now have 24 meters of cordage because it's 12 strand paracord. So my truck kit. Now, this isn't everything that's in my truck. This is just a small kit that I keep in my truck that if I had to leave the truck and hike, I've at least got something with me. So I've got my first aid kit, always on that truck kit, my water bottle with duct tape on it. Now, if I'm traveling, I'm generally in the winter, I don't keep it full of water. I'll bring the water bottle in to the house, but then when I go to the truck, I take the full water bottle with me. So I always have at least one bottle of water. I've got my bear spray, got a knife, some spare batteries for my headlamp, and I've got a little battery bank to charge my phone. I've got hand sanitizer, lip salve, some soap, a magnifying glass, a Leatherman, my candle, little candle lantern with a candle, a little one-person bivy sack, my headlamp, and then this is my little survival tin, which I'll show you the contents of. And then I also have just a windbreaker shell, N95 mask, a survival blanket, a flint and steel, some water purification tabs, my compass with a signaling mirror, and some hand warmers. I've got more cordage, which is more paracord. I've got a collapsible water bottle, a life straw, uh, another lighter, some gloves, and just some snacks, some granola bars. This is my survival tin. So you can see I've got duct tape wrapped around it that I can use for either band-aids, starting fires, or as duct tape. And on the back of this, duct taped underneath this, there's a little hollow spot um, in the back of the can. And I put some tin foil there. And in between the can and the tin foil are garbage bags, two big black garbage bags. So inside that little survival tin, if I just grabbed only that survival tin, I've got water purification tabs, a flashlight with some snare wire wound around it. Um, one of these is just I think they both tin foil. I think one might be a little bit. Yeah, one this one's tin foil, and the other one is a survival blanket. I've got an emergency poncho. I've got a whistle with paracord lanyard. I've got some matches. I've got a little ferro stick, so a flint and steel. I've got a mini lighter, a candle, a magnifying glass, and a little zip lighter brick. So lots of different ways for combustion to start a fire. My bigger pack. So what do I generally carry in my bigger pack? Well, it's a modified old army pack. So I've cut the pouches off and then put straps on and sewn the straps back on so that I can extend the pouches out to be able to hold more things on the outside of my pack. You can see I've got my truck kit included in this. So I have all the contents of my truck kit plus these other things. Disregard the chair that's in the picture. I don't actually carry that chair with me. But I've got a spare change of clothes. It's all quick dry camping clothing material. I've got another compass. I have a sleeping bag, not shown in this picture, but I do carry a ground mat with me, a tent. I've got a collapsible saw that all breaks down or folds, goes together into this tube. I've got some tent pegs. I've got heavier work gloves. I have some self-defense items. I've got another wind up battery powered combination radio, flashlight, and little alarm on that for sound or signaling. And it's solar powered as well. So it's wind up, solar, and battery. I've got a little camping stove and my pots and pans for cooking. Some more hand warmers just for quick heat if I ever quickly need something. And then there'll be more food in here as well, more the freeze dried camping options. So this is kind of a short one on the presentation because the point of this presentation when I did it at our workshop in person was if you're looking at the presentation now, it says it's party time, and this is where we actually just took some time to let everyone go through all my kits and play with the stuff that's in them, have a hands-on kind of closer look at everything that was in the kits. So I guess in summary, just think about having your kits in various places. Have your everyday carry, so what you have on you all the time, something in your vehicle. You should always have a kit in your vehicle. Should always have a go bag or a 72-hour kit ready to leave and evacuate your house with. And if you're working out of the home, if you have an office, should always have a kit there. My office kit, I'll have a small jacket in it, uh, one of the charging bricks again for my phone, a flashlight with spare batteries. I also have an N95 mask, some basic first aid stuff. So a few band-aids, hand sanitizer, alcohol swabs, some gloves, and a change of shoes is important as well because if you're a woman and you have high heels on, for example, you want to be able to take those off and put on flats or running shoes to make travel and evacuation safer and easier. And if you're a guy, even your dress shoes, they're not that comfortable to walk a long distance in or to run in. So have some running shoes that you can change into. I also have a couple of self defense items there as well. Um, and those are just some of the basic things I have. So I hope you enjoyed this. When you think about your kits again, think about it's not just about the gear. Do you know what to do with the gear and how to use it, how to improvise? You can see a lot of the things in my kits are multi purpose. So it's not just for one thing, and combine things when you can. So the lanyard for my whistle is paracord. Don't just make it a simple lanyard, make it paracord so you have more cordage. Replace your boot laces with paracord. Put some duct tape around your lighter or your water bottles or around your survival tin. Have multiple ways to start a fire, multiple ways to filter or purify water. So think about those kind of core principles. And again, think about your shelter, not just with, oh, do I have a tent? But what am I wearing? And what else could I use for shelter? Yes, in my survival tin, I had an emergency poncho, but what else did I have? I had some garbage bags. I could cut some holes in those for my arms and head, and that's a quick poncho. I could take those garbage bags and stuff them full of leaves to make a ground mat to sleep on. I could use them to hold water, right? I usually, in my packs, I put a garbage bag in as a liner and then I put everything inside the garbage bag. Takes up almost no extra room, helps protect the contents from getting wet, and I have an extra garbage bag. So think about things like that when you're planning your kits. I hope you like this. Share it, subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.